Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. We are looking at some of the cheap boxes from Sword and Shield. Are any of these pickups worthwhile? Stay tuned, sit back, relax, and welcome to PokeMarketLab. All right, let's get into it. We're looking at these three boxes: Vivid Voltage, Battle Styles, Darkness Ablaze. We're going to look at the box price. We're going to look at the trend of the box price. And we're going to look at some of the singles and some of the singles value. We're trying to determine, our thesis here is there a box here that's worthwhile at that current price? We've seen a lot of Sword and Shield, even some of the more mediocre products in Sword and Shield start to go up in value. Not necessarily deserving of that value. We're seeing a lot of people buy product just for the sake of getting product. And when you get to these cheap boxes like this, what tends to happen in a really hot market is people start buying them just because they're cheap. You shouldn't do that. You should make a determination either based on data or based on what you love, right? Are there cards in this set you love? Do you like the box art? Or is there a reason to buy it other than the fact it's cheap? It being cheap is not a reason to buy it, especially if you're holding long term. 5 years from now, you need someone to buy it because of one of those reasons. They're going to have a reason when they spend hundreds upon hundreds of dollars to buy this box. And hopefully a long time from now. So you have to think to yourself, if I'm a buyer in the future, is there something surrounding this set that makes it worthwhile to buy? And that could be something, it could be nostalgia driven. It could be something, sometimes drama drives people's purchases to buy a set. They want a piece of history, right? If there's a story surrounding that set or that product. So let's get into it. Let's start looking at some of the box price history and see if we can make some determinations. So Vivid Voltage is sitting at $181 a box here. Still plenty listed on TCG Player for how old it is. This came out in November of 2020. So this is approaching 5 years old. 100 boxes listed on TCG Player, selling quite well, good volume here last few months. Yes, it's starting to go up in price. And again, the question is it deserving of that price? It is old. I will give it that. So this is getting old. So what happens over time too, something I want to explain. Over time, the cards in a set start to diverge from the price of the booster box. Typically, the booster box is kind of like an index fund. It's a representation of all the cards in the set. Eventually, the box itself becomes its own collectible, meaning people value the sealed product regardless of what's in it because it's rare and because it's old. We're not quite at that point with Vivid Voltage necessarily, but we're starting to get there. So again, this has done pretty well in the last few months. So 23% return. And again, we're going to look at the cards in the set and the value of the cards in the set to make some determining factors here. Let's now look at the cards in that set. So a lot of these cards, you're going to notice a trend between these few sets here. We have a lot of rainbow foil cards, okay? There was, the market clearly voted that it didn't love this effect. In person, it looks really good, but it doesn't stand out in a binder. I wish they had done full art Pokemon. So imagine this Pikachu VMAX here. Imagine that as full art, Pikachu being full art and full color, but then around him being the rainbow. I think that would have looked a lot better. These just look just the same. And you don't typically see that with any other expensive cards or any other artwork, right? There's always some, like this Pikachu here, there's very different coloring and very different artwork style than, one of these trainers or even these other Pokemon here. So it just there was really no separation. So these are some of the more valuable cards in Vivid Voltage. Obviously, we have Fat Pikachu here sitting at $150, and then the value drops off extremely quickly here. So it's really Pikachu holding up this set. And again, the market voted pretty unanimously that it didn't love the rainbow arts, but there are some exceptions, and that Pikachu is one of them. Now on to Battle Styles. So Battle Styles, the cheaper box here, sitting at $164 a box. This came out March of 2021. There's 130 of these listed on TCG Player. Again, consistent, 24% return in the last few months. Still very good sell volume. So again, not quite as old as Vivid. And then looking at the cards in this set, we have a much better, again, not as many rainbows in these top spots. And I think that's clearly, we're going to make we're going to look at some final data when we get towards the end of this video. It's very clear that was a benefit to the set. So we have traditional cards and traditional artwork in this set. We have Tyranitar up top at $200. The Urshifu VMAX, probably my favorite card from the set outside of the Mimikyu, sitting at $64 here. So there's still you got that chase card, which is extremely important, but then you have plenty of value down the curve here. And again, I love this this Mimikyu. I think that's a steal at that price for such an old set. All right, on to Darkness Ablaze. Darkness Ablaze sitting at $196 a booster box, 31% up in the last 3 months, excuse me, and only 55 of these listed on TCG Player. This came out in August of 2020, so this is definitely getting old and definitely starting to dry up. Probably my least favorite set out of the bunch here. We have a Charizard here, not a particularly good Charizard, and again, Rainbow Art. So we don't even have an expensive chase here. There's just not, again, Rainbow Art's Charizard, it's a weak Charizard. Nothing really here to kind of gush over. So probably my least favorite set. So really the booster box price that we see pushing up against 200 and that increase, that return in the last few months is really predicated on the fact that it's just old and it's starting to get rare. But as far as I remember, it was never truly loved at any point in time. So let's try to make some, kind of pull the data together and start to make some determinations. I'll preface this part of it by saying, again, buy what you love. If you love any of these sets and you want to have a piece of them, of course, go and buy them. I'm just trying to tell you what I think subjectively based on the artwork of the cards, and then look at the price of the cards and price of the booster boxes and make some determinations. So let's look at the total value of cards and sets. So this is the total value. If you take every single card in each set, current market price added up. Vivid Voltage sitting at $383, Battle Styles sitting at $591, and Darkness Ablaze coming in last at $209. So Battle Styles, clear winner here. And I think you know what I'm gonna say next. So the cheaper box out of all of these, but yet the highest in terms of potential value in the box. So if there's not something, and again, I can just look through the cards themselves visually and see subjectively, absolutely my favorite out of these three. It's not my favorite set in Sword and Shield. It's not even close. Certainly from a rating standpoint would probably be in the C category. But there's definitely stuff to love there. And I don't think that's true. Vivid Voltage, there's, Fat Pikachu's definitely something. Darkness Ablaze here is the only thing going for it is the fact is cards in the set just not there. And again, that divergence I'm talking about, that's what's pushing up Darkness Ablaze. Plus the fact we're in a hot market, the fact it's old, the fact it's getting rarer to find, the box itself is becoming the collectible. Is that a reason to get Darkness Ablaze? Again, that goes back to whether you want it or not. You want to own a piece of history from an investment standpoint. To me, long term, even though the box itself separates from the cost of the cards in it, I still want the memory that people are going to have of, I loved that card in this set or these cards in that set. You're not going to have that with Darkness Ablaze. I can't imagine that being a thing. So to me, the cards visually, not even just the value, are really what's going to matter. And Battle Styles is a clear winner here from just a strictly value standpoint. And then I kind of did some math and looked at a ratio of total card value. So again, that total card value of all cards in the set to the current booster box price, right? So the higher the number here, the more essentially value you're getting out of the current cost of the box. And again, Battle Styles here, clear winner. Again, just there's plenty of value in the cards in the set. You're getting a lot for your money versus these other boxes here. So I think it's really what it's telling us is Battle Styles is probably undervalued for what it is. It's still pretty old, right? It's 2021. Beautiful card, some good cards in the set. Definitely some good cards. That Urshifu again is a beautiful card, and it's definitely pretty undervalued for what it is. So just kind of looking also at top value of cards in set by comparison. So this is the top 20 cards from each set. So we have Darkness Ablaze in orange, Vivid Voltage in blue, and Battle Styles in green. Okay, so this is charted out. So it's kind of just competing for each spot here. And then you can visually see the difference in the value in those sets in comparison, right? Not just looking at the whole cost, but looking at the distribution for the top 20 cards. So we can see here Battle Styles certainly number one. So you have that chase card, which is extremely important. We know what that does, right? We know what that does to the value of a set. But what we want to see is not just the chase card, right? Look Vivid Voltage, for instance. That's blue, right? We have a chase card, which is great. But then look at the next card value. We have in Vivid Voltage, we have the Pikachu, Fat Pikachu, but then it drops off quickly. And to me, that's not a good sign for health of a set, right? We want what we see here in Battle Styles. We have a chase card, and then we have a curve downward. This down here too is the part that hurts. We lose, even in all of these sets, we lose value extremely quickly, and it just there's not a ton once you get past the first 4 or 5 cards in terms of value. So again, this is a good representation. This is another, but this is another plus in the battle style category here. We have a chase card, and then we have not just the chase card, there's other stuff to pull in that set. And so the clear winner here is Battle Styles. If you're, this is not, again, not a knockout of a set necessarily. There's some good stuff here. I would say this is, compared to what we're seeing in the rest of Sword and Shield in terms of growth, this is probably undervalued at this point. So, whether that means it's a must for your collection or not, that's up for you to determine and to decide. And again, based on what factors, based on data, based on card image, card artwork, that's up for you to decide. But it's definitely, out of these three, I wouldn't touch the other two. I think your money is better spent for that kind of money looking at anything in Scarlet and Violet, maybe spending a little bit more and looking at like a Silver Tempest or something like that. But this is, Battle Styles is old. It's going to continue to grow. There's definitely some stuff in here to love. So maybe consider picking some of it up. So that's our video for today. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And of course, if you like what we're doing here at PokeMarketLab, give us hit that subscribe button or give us a like. And that's it for this one. PokeMarketLab out.